Everyone, thank you for checking out my channel. We are going to be counting down the greatest in-your-house matches ever. We just found out last night on NXT that there will be NXT TakeOver in your house on June 7th. So to get us prepared for that, we're going to be counting down the greatest in-your-house matches ever. Our first match on the countdown comes from December 1995, and it is the WWF Championship match between Bret the Hitman Hart and the British Bulldog. The British Bulldog had the Bret Hitman Hart's sister with him because Diana, which is Bret's sister, was married to the British Bulldog. She was in kind of neutral, but more on Bulldog's side in this match, kind of. But it was an amazing match. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I'm looking forward to watching it. So I just got done watching the Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog match, and I thought it was amazing. I was very surprised with how hardcore it was for the time, 1995, specifically December 1995. So it was a very good match. Bret was busted open early on in the match, and when I say busted open, he was busted open very, very badly. Blood was gushing everywhere. And I was very surprised to see that much blood for that time period. We saw the Bulldog hit a running power slam on the outside. We saw him expose the concrete, which is something that I didn't see often during that time period. But Bret was able to counter a suplex, and he suplexed the Bulldog onto a metal guardrail. They went back and forth after that. And like I said in my notes, for 1995, this was an amazing match. Bret ended up winning with a roll-up, and I gave this match a 10 out of 10. The British Bulldog is such an amazing competitor. He really does not get his due, and I think he showed the whole world that he was great at this and he could do it. So I thought that was cool. And Bret Hart obviously is a great competitor, one of the greatest fighters in WWE history. So it was a very good match, and I recommend anyone to watch it. So that will definitely be on my list of the greatest in your house matches. So I'll compile it once I'm done. So our next match on the countdown of the greatest in your house matches comes from In Your House, Good Friends, Better Enemies. And this took place in April 1996, and we saw the WWF champion, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, defend his championship against Big Daddy Cool Diesel in a no-holds-barred match. This match was really, really good. I was pretty surprised because, I was maybe a little concerned that they were just going to fight inside the ring and there wasn't going to be a lot of no-holds-barred action, but I was actually surprised. There was a lot of no-holds-barred action. One of the first things that I saw that I was surprised to see was when Diesel was choking Shawn Michaels over the ropes, and he almost was like hanging him with the tape that they used for their arms, but he was like hanging him and choking him over the top ropes. That's something that I never saw in WWE at that time. Also, we saw multiple chair shots, but from Shawn to Diesel, Diesel to Shawn, back and forth, and like the chair was like bent. You could tell how hard they were hitting each other with these chairs. Then we see Diesel hit a huge power bomb to Shawn Michaels through the announce table. Vince McMahon is screaming, "Let it be over, let it be over," as Shawn Michaels, eventually gets up, but Vince is telling Shawn, "Stay down, don't get up." Shawn gets up, he gets a fire extinguisher, he, blows it in Diesel's face, and he hits Diesel with a chair to the head. And then we also see the sort of ending come when Diesel goes out to Mad Dog Vachon, who was a famous wrestler back in the 70s and 80s, and he got into a car accident and no longer has a leg. Well, Diesel went and grabbed Mad Dog's fake leg, prosthetic leg, brought it in the ring, and went to hit Shawn with it, but Shawn was able to counter. He hit Diesel with the leg, and then he hit a sweet chin music for the win. I gave this match a 9 out of 10. It wasn't as as intense as the Bulldog and Hart was. They went back and forth and told a good story. This is a good match too, but it wasn't really like a storytelling match. It was an interesting match to see. It was very good, but it wasn't as good as the Bulldog match. However, I still recommend you watch it. It was very good for hardcore fans out there. So tune in. Very good. Our next match on the In Your House countdown of the greatest matches of all time, we are going to be watching from In Your House Mind Games, which was September 1996, the WWF champion, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, defend his championship against Mankind with Paul Bearer in his corner. I'm very looking forward to this match. I think it's going to be very good, and I'm excited to see how it will turn out. Just got done watching the match. I thought it was amazing. They went back and forth and did all kinds of crazy moves to each other. The beginning of the match, Mankind tries to expose the concrete, and HBK hits him with a drop kick, which makes the padding fall on top of Mankind. HBK jumps on top of him, and Mankind is under the padding. We saw HBK suplex Mankind to the steel ring steps, where Mankind's foot hit the step. We saw Triple H hit, not Triple H, I'm sorry, Shawn Michaels hit a knee drop to Mankind on top of a casket. I was surprised because during this match, the fans were chanting boring. And I was really surprised because I thought it was a pretty decent match, but that was the time back then. Let's see. We saw Mankind get his neck stuck in the ropes, and that was a crazy sight to see, kind of. But then we also saw Mankind put HBK in the mandible claw while he was stuck in the rope, so that was cool too to see. Shawn Michaels biting Mankind's hand so that he couldn't do the mandible claw on him. This was cool. Mankind did a diving elbow off the ring apron onto Shawn Michaels, who was on the exposed concrete floor. Also, we saw HBK suplex Mankind off the top rope onto the Spanish announce table, breaking the table. We also see HBK hits Paul Bearer with the urn. Or no, Paul Bearer hit HBK with the urn, and then that caused a disqualification because he wasn't supposed to get involved. And then Sid ran down to try to help because Vader attacks Shawn Michaels. Sid comes down, he attacks Vader. And then after the match, Mankind puts HBK in the mandible claw until the Undertaker comes out and sends Mankind running away. So I gave this match a 9 out of 10. I thought that this was a great showing for Mankind to make Foley a show and one of his first title matches. I thought it was very good. Paul Bearer was great at ringside. Shawn Michaels has been great these past couple of matches. So I really recommend watching it. It is a great match. These two really gave it their all. It was hardcore. It was really anything you could ask for during this time period. So I suggest you tune in because it was an amazing match. Our next match on the greatest In Your House matches countdown of all time, we are going to be watching from In Your House Final Four, the Final Four main event match between Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Hitman Bret Hart, the Undertaker, and the man they call Vader. This is going to be a great match. The winner is the #1 contender for WrestleMania. It is going to be an exciting match, and I look forward to let you guys know what I think. So that match was really good. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It wasn't my favorite match, to be honest with you. It was pretty decent. Vader, his eye was cut up really bad. He was bleeding. It looked like he really broke an eye socket. He was bleeding really bad and heavily early on in the match. The first person to be eliminated was Stone Cold Steve Austin for a hard room over the top rope. And then I know that Stone Cold came in and he attacked Bret Hart, and I know Vader got eliminated by The Undertaker, and then Bret Hart ended up winning, and he actually won the WWF Championship and is set to go off against Sid at WrestleMania 13. Our next match on the greatest In Your House matches of all time countdown is from In Your House Canadian Stampede, July 1997. This is when the Hart Foundation was in full swing, and you had Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Evil Knight Hart, the British Bulldog, Owen Hart, and the loose cannon Brian Pillman going against the team of Stone Cold Steve Austin, the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, Goldust, and a Legion of Doom. This match has got a lot of praise. I have seen it once before, but I have not really watched it in full, so I'm excited to check it out with all of you today. The next match that I'm checking out today is going to be from In Your House Bad Blood, which was from October 1997, and it was a Hell in a Cell match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. These two had a story rivalry which dated back to SummerSlam 1997 when Shawn Michaels was a special guest referee in a match between Bret Hart and The Undertaker, and Shawn accidentally hit The Undertaker with a steel chair, causing him to lose his title opportunity. Well, actually his title because he was the champion at the time. Sorry about that. So then it led to a match at Ground Zero, and the two of them had a doubles qualification, so which led to a no holds barred Hell in a Cell match where there's a big cage and you're set up. Fans did not know what to expect because it's the first time there was a Hell in a Cell match to air on pay-per-view, and people were excited, and I think the show gave them something to look forward to. It was a great match. Shawn Michaels got bloodied open pretty badly. The spot where they climbed to the top of the cell, and then Shawn Michaels falls off the top, landing at the announce table, which then ends up leading to Kane, The Undertaker's brother, who for months and months was being promoted as being alive still. We never saw him before. This was his first appearance, and he came in, ripped open the cage door, and then he went into the ring and delivered a tombstone to The Undertaker, which allowed Shawn Michaels to get the pinfall. This is a great match, especially for the Attitude Era, the beginnings of it, but this also is another match that I think you guys should check out. I gave it a 9 out of 10, but check it out because this is another great match of In Your House. Our next match on the countdown comes from Over the Edge In Your House 1998, and we see the WWF champion Stone Cold Steve Austin defend the title against Dude Love. Now, in this specific match, Vince McMahon served as a special guest referee, Gerald Briscoe was the guest timekeeper, and Pat Patterson was the guest ring announcer. All those men were part of the corporation and a part of Vince McMahon's scheme to try to get the belt off of Stone Cold. However, The Undertaker came out to make sure that Vince McMahon played straight down the line fair, and it was a very good match. There was a lot of fighting around cars, tables. We saw Undertaker chokeslam Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe through the announce tables. And then we also saw Stone Cold Steve Austin get busted open badly. And the end of the match came when Austin gave Vince McMahon a Stone Cold Stunner, and then he also stunnered Dude Love and used Vince McMahon, who was knocked out. He used his hand to count to 3, retain the title. That was a very good match. I give it a 9 out of 10, and I suggest you watch it on the list of the In Your House countdown. So our next match and our last match on the greatest In Your House matches of all time comes from St. Valentine's Day Massacre In Your House from February 1999, and it was for the WWF Championship in a last man standing match. The champion Mankind went one-on-one against The Rock. They fought at the Royal Rumble the pay-per-view prior to that one, and they had an amazing match. This match was very good, very brutal. Pretty funny moments happened when The Rock got on the microphone was singing songs, and Mankind ended up fighting back, and they just did a lot of back and forth action. The match ended on a double count. They both were knocked out, and they did not answer the referee's 10 count, so that match became a no contest and was ruled a double count out. And that was a very good match, and I suggest watching all of these matches on our In Your House countdown. Tune in soon because I will be making a new video on the NXT TakeOver In Your House match card. And subscribe and like, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you for tuning in.